how did my family react to me? Just out of the whole thing. So I think that's why I wrote the poem about Weber and Booker T and Du Bois to my parents, because I always wanted to tell them that I'm doing subversive things because it makes me look cool, and because in the end it's expanding human dignity for all. But obviously, you don't really articulate that to your parents when they're trying to say that you should probably get a real job and learn to do something productive with your life. So I think that's why in that section I can only write poetry. So that's one level, and that's, I guess, the humorous level, but the more serious level is that I know that I can be empowered enough to give these talks before you all and go to detention on my own terms. But I think it's not until my parents have assumed that same level of comfort, that can only be bestowed through justice, will I be comfortable too. And not until I don't get any more emails from my cousin saying, how do I manage this system that really does not allow any space for me, will I be comfortable. So it's both that tension, which is good. It's really good for creating art, but it's really bad for sanity. And at the same time, understanding that our parents only want the best for us and to protect us. And that's why they like us to go to these schools. But it's scary when we go to these schools and they assume all this knowledge that is so critical and so beautiful, right? And dares us to believe beyond our present reality. So, any other questions? Did that answer a little bit? I don't know. Anyone else have any questions? Over there. What? Wait, I can't hear. Oh, I was just being like, I was just saying jail was fun as a point to make humor, right? Because sometimes if I tell you about the funny things that happen in jail, then you actually get to realize that detainees are also fully human as every single one, right? Of us here, as complex of individuals as we are. So obviously jail was never fun, period. But at the same time, I think like as people that aren't always on our iPads or iPhones or our Facebook, that sometimes we do creative things, and when you are stripped of your possessions, of your family, of your freedom, then you still have stories and laughter and songs to share. So that's kind of why I read that little bit of my letter and not some of the more like horrific stuff, which happens, especially a lot of the medical negligences. So was that okay? Okay. Who inspired me? So I think the easy answer is like my parents always say, "Hijo, échale ganas." But then again, I think I was always like a dork growing up. I just liked to read and write, and I was really chubby, so I was insecure about any other capacities like sports or talking to women. So I just kind of indulged myself in writing and reading and in art. So it's both obviously my parents being really good Mexican parents and insisting that I not become someone that works with their hands like they do, but also always showing me the dignified ways of their labor, and then also just this really ambition and addiction to reading and writing. So, was that okay? Are you inspired to go to school? Continue on? You said it's on Twitter? So what's the hashtag? ED Chat, so everyone should follow them. So how are we doing with time, Aaron? Two more questions. If anyone has any more questions, if not, I can be relieved, but